Hello, I'm Brett with WIPdeveloper.com. Since we're rendering a list of objects and we want the formatting for each one to be the same, we're going to extract each thing that's being rendered in that list to a separate component. This will make it easier for us to glance at our HTML and see what's going on, and it makes it more composable. This will be a bigger issue once we have more going on in our HTML, but for right now, since we only have we're displaying the name with a dash and the ID, we're going to take that and we're going to add it to a new component that I created called object list item. Now we'll add that into the template for the object list item, similar since we took it out of the object list template. Replace it with the C object list item, and then we're going to bind to an account property on there. And for each one, what we'll bind is the account. Right now, this won't show anything, since we haven't set up our object list item to accept an item yet. In our object list item JavaScript, we will have to import the API. So now we can set the object on our object list item. This is all similar to using a child component, except in this case, we are using child component that gets repeated. There we have our child components. Similar to using a child component that's not rendered in the list, we can send data back to the parent using events. In this case, we will be using a new event called object list item selected, and we will pass along the account ID. Now we just have to handle this in the object list. So on our object list item in the repeat, or the for each, we will have an on object list item selected, and let's give it a name. Now we just need to make the handler for it. So we're just passing back the ID. So while we don't have anything to do with it right now, what we can do is display it so that we know that it's actually passing back properly. Our selected ID will be displayed above our list. And now we just need to capture it in here. So once the handler gets called, the detail, which is the ID from the account that we have selected, will be assigned to the selected list ID, and that will be displayed on our page. So we can select the first one. You see there it is. Or we can select the second one, or the whatever number one this one is, and it changes every time we select a new one. I know for this simple example, this doesn't seem like it'd be very useful, but when you have a repeat that is a complicated structured HTML layout, using a component inside the list to render it instead of composing it directly in the list, like say if you're repeating a bunch of Lightning Design System cards on the page and they have complex HTML layouts, this would make it a lot easier to reason with for what is happening for each one. That's it for now. Remember to sign up for the weekly stand-up, and you can get updated with any new information we have on WIPdeveloper.com.